This is a big year in the movement to legalize pot. At least a dozen states are considering marijuana legalization. According to the National Organization for the Reform of Marijuana Laws, 60% of Americans reportedly support full legalization of marijuana for adults. We decided to visit the very first state to allow retail pot stores, Colorado. We found a lot of happy people, but also some hard lessons for other states considering the same path.
Hi everybody, my name is Mike. This is my YouTube page, Mox News. Okay, so I just want to show you, people keep saying you need to talk on your videos, you know, and again, I've tried not to be this another talking head who tells you what you're supposed to think, because there's plenty of those people around. You know, I'm just trying to show you what happened today and what this idiot saying, what that idiot saying. But I see an opportunity here to help you see something a little more clearly, so I figured I'd go ahead and do that. Since people keep saying that you need to talk, you need to talk. So the way to spot a reefer madness propaganda, a piece of propaganda, is very simple. When they use the term pot is considered to be a very negative term by the people in the media. And when they use the word marijuana, which I always use the word marijuana. I love the word marijuana. I call it marijuana. I think it's a pretty word, you know, but I'm not a racist fuck like the people that are in the media, like Don Lemon and obviously this prostitute. Ashley Banford, is that what her name is? I don't know, whatever. But you know, when they use the word marijuana like 47 times in a video, and the word pot, you don't want your children on pot, do you? When they do that 47 times, but they never once use the word cannabis, like in this particular video, know that these people are purposefully producing a piece of reefer madness propaganda. Okay, and you say, well, why would they produce it? I mean, because the whole resources thing, you know, it's like you see the cops going, oh, fear, fear, fear. You see this other person who's like in charge of whatever going, fear, fear, fear. There's 128 cannabis stores, you know, whatever. It's called free market. Okay, why you people are afraid of capitalism? Don't let them. It's either the money is taxed and goes to an actual business person, or the money goes to violent street gangs. Ooh, MS-13. You guys are all afraid of the MS-13, right? They use knives. You know why? Because it's more brutal. You can take the money away from all the people that are like, so we love our police so much, and the cops, all the cops are, we just want to see our brothers in blue get home at night. You know, if that's true, here I got a bumper sticker for you. Okay, it's called "Save a Cop's Life" and the drug war. Okay, because the drug war is completely failed. The drug war has the just say no, we're going to put your ass in jail. Drug war has failed so badly, there's an opioid epidemic. And the best way to stop the opioid epidemic, there is study after study after study that shows people who use cannabis not only don't use opioids, they pretty much stop using all prescription drugs. All prescription drugs. I have a video. If you go type in cannabis into Mox News, you'll get hundreds of videos. And one of them is going to tell you exactly that. The people who use cannabis stop using over-the-counter and prescription drugs. Pretty much completely. So just like in my story about Rufus last night, where I was saying that the vet gave us a bunch of pills to dope him up, and I was like, dumped those down the toilet and just gave them cannabis. Didn't need that. You don't need pills. It's an epidemic of pills. They won't tell you that. There's pill commercial after pill commercial after pill commercial on TV, you know? There's even commercials on how to organize all the pills you have to take every day. That's the epidemic. Big Pharma is the epidemic. And the only cure for it is to end the drug war and to legalize cannabis everywhere. It's legal in Canada now. It's going to be legal in Mexico in like the next 6 months. The Supreme Court just ruled in Mexico that it's unconstitutional for cannabis to be illegal. For recreational cannabis to be illegal in Mexico is unconstitutional. But in the land of the free, we got to keep your bitch ass underneath our jackbooted thugs. Okay? So, just know that the people that are supposed to be representing you actually believe that you need to be babysat and that your freedom is dangerous, and that they still gonna pump out all this reefer madness stuff. And the reason is because it makes money. It makes money for them. It gives them power. It gives them control. It makes big pharma money. It makes big alcohol money. It makes big petroleum money. It makes tobacco money. You know, I mean, there's a reason, and all those people own the Congress people. It's that simple. So anyways, I just wanted to show you how to spot the reefer madness when they say marijuana 47 times and pot shops over and over again. It's cannabis. They know what the word is. It's cannabis. And the reason they don't use the word cannabis is because cannabis doesn't have the negative connotations that marijuana and pot have. You know, I'm surprised they're not calling it weed. I'm surprised they're not calling it dope over and over again. Except for that would be just too obvious. So that's how you spot, you know, this is how you spot reefer madness propaganda. It's real easy. Anyone can do it. And I know you guys think this is fake news already and whatever, but this is important. It's important for you to be able to point this out to people who don't know, who don't understand. So I'm just trying to give you a little extra ammo. Not that you need it. You're smart people. I've told you this again and again. It's why you're on Mox News. I'm just trying to do what you ask of me, which is to talk more. Again, I don't think the video needs it, but it's what you ask for. So if this is what you want me to keep doing, to talk on a daily basis, to point out stuff in the videos, I'll do that. But I need your help. You want me to keep posting videos on YouTube? I need your help. It's easy to make a donation. There's clickable links in the text body of the video. You can go to moxnews.com. It takes like 2 minutes. And I wouldn't ask if I didn't need your help. So, here I'm going to play the video for you. The reefer madness propaganda. And hopefully someone will decide that it is the season to give. And Mox gives and gives and gives. Season after season after season. For years and years and years. To me. Maybe I should give something back. That would be really nice of you. Thanks very much. Stay cool Wednesdays. This drug war is going to end. And Mox News would love to be there on that day to celebrate that day with you. Because that day is going to be one cool party, right?
This is a big year in the movement to legalize pot. At least a dozen states are considering marijuana legalization. According to the National Organization for the Reform of Marijuana Laws, 60% of Americans reportedly support full legalization of marijuana for adults. We decided to visit the very first state to allow retail pot stores, Colorado. We found a lot of happy people, but also some hard lessons for other states considering the same path.
it's endless. Like, there's not just flower anymore.
In 2014, Colorado became the first state to allow pot stores, where anybody 21 or older can buy marijuana for fun.
You can eat it, dab it. I mean, there's so many things you can do with it. It's unreal.
We wanted to find out what Colorado has learned from its Rocky Mountain High.
It's f***ing awesome. Everybody's getting high as hell.
I think it's the worst thing Colorado could have ever done. I didn't vote for it because you got people on phones driving and now you got them high.
One person was allowed up to an ounce per person per day.
This is the sign-in desk at the Green Solution. There's tight security and lots of controls. Brad Spidell and his brothers own the shop. They started with medical marijuana. Today, they're one of the biggest recreational marijuana chains in the state. How many stores do you and your brothers have?
Currently in Colorado, we have 15.
The showroom offers a complex menu of options, combining the techno feel of an Apple store with the upscale aura of a high-end makeup counter.
I feel like crime's gone down. I feel like, kids aren't as interested in it. When it comes to the alternative lifestyle, I think that it offers more benefits than anything.
Some call it a green rush that rivals Colorado's gold rush, attracting tourists, new businesses, and a record pace of people moving in.
What we're finding is people want to experience it in a number of different ways, whether it's a dispensary tour, a grow operation, taking a cannabis cooking class, for example. There's even sushi rolling classes.
The recreational pot boom in the United States brought in about $9 billion in legal sales last year. It's bringing in a lot of tax revenue, creating job opportunities through shops, labs, even cannabis bakeries. But is there a downside we're not hearing so much about? Well, some certainly think so in Colorado Springs, about an hour outside of pot-heavy Denver. That's where we're headed now. Colorado Springs opted out of recreational marijuana sales, sticking with limited sales for medical use, which voters approved in 2000. To find out why they're not on the recreational marijuana train, hi there. Hi. We met up with Maddie Gullickson at a medical dispensary called Epic Remedy. She's a Colorado Springs official assigned to investigate the costs of legalized pot. Renz Waddington is the owner.
Colorado Springs is medical only, so you have to have a doctor's recommendation and be registered with the state to receive or purchase medical marijuana.
One thing they've learned, pot laws and regulations are expensive, exceedingly complex, and constantly changing.
A patient elect signs us up as their primary sender to purchase, and then we get allocated a certain amount of plans per patient.
Is this one up here. So it's an old gas station, Canameds. And so
Gullickson says it was all the unintended consequences of the city's medical marijuana experience that warded them off recreational. She's analyzing trends to help figure out best practices for regulation.
I think we've got about 20 Starbucks in Colorado Springs, and we've got about 20 McDonald's in Colorado Springs, and we've got 128 dispensaries.
Wow.
So that's, that footprint is pretty large.
In 2016, there was a spike in the state's homeless population, and houses have become increasingly unaffordable. A typical Denver home is in the $400,000 range. But the biggest surprise is what's happened to the black market. It turns out, for all the predictions and hope that legalizing marijuana in Colorado would eliminate the black market here, that hasn't turned out to be the case. In fact, officials in law enforcement and communities have told us they're having to grapple with an entirely new set of problems and costs.
All right, so we're going to turn.
Roger Vargason is a Colorado Springs police sergeant.
Back in the day when the gold rush, when everybody was told that there was gold in the mountains and everybody should come to Colorado and make a fortune, the same thing's happening with marijuana. I could take you to hundreds of houses in this community that have been ruined.
How's it going?
Good.
He took us to one neighborhood to see the pot version of crack houses.
So now what you see is people are taking over these houses, growing a large amount of marijuana. Now it turns into the black market. They ship it out of state, and other states are paying large amount of money for this marijuana. So everything that we were kind of told in regards to legalization, that we would get rid of the black market, law enforcement wouldn't be involved in, it just hasn't panned out. And it's just not within the city of Colorado Springs. It's throughout the whole state of Colorado.
Dealers rent homes like this one, illegally grow more marijuana than the law allows without proper paperwork, and skip out.
But the biggest problem is not so much the plants as what they did to the house. It had pushed up the wooden floors, they had cut down all the drywall in the basement, they had taken all the carpet out, essentially destroying the basement.
And they were just renters.
They were just renters. So you look at a house like this, it's over $500,000 and it's virtually being destroyed.
There's also been a spike in other crime like robbery and car theft. In 2016, Colorado's increase in crime rate was 11 times more than the average 30 biggest U.S. cities. Homicides up almost 10%.
That's another irony of this whole thing, because the legalization proponents said, oh, you know, the cops are spending way too much time on this marijuana. They're ticketing guys in the park and stuff like that. Let's stop that. Well, guess what? We're spending an awful lot more time enforcing the marijuana laws than we did when it was all illegal.
Colorado Springs Mayor John Suthers opposed legal marijuana. He's a former prosecutor and state attorney general. What about people who say, your county, your city, you're just too uptight?
Oh, yeah.
Fighting progress, you're fighting something that nobody really sees as harmful.
The industry always stereotypes me as kind of a drug war dinosaur. You know, I've been dealing with this drug problem for years as a prosecutor, and I'm just, in a different century. That's fair. Everybody can analyze that, but I will tell you, I'm backed up on the size and scope of the black market that they said wouldn't exist, and now exists in greater nature and extent than they talked about. We have the highest rate of adolescent marijuana use in the country. We're not fixing our roads, or our school system hasn't been bailed out by marijuana money.
As more states consider legalizing marijuana, the Trump administration abandoned an earlier threat to crack down on recreational pot in states where it's legal. That after an appeal from Colorado Senator Cory Gardner. What is your best advice in a nutshell for these other states and cities?
Slow down.
I believe it's just going to keep continuing to grow, just like any other industry. We're just in the beginning of it right now. We've been legal for a few years now, and honestly, it's just going to keep getting better and better and better.
I think when you have money driving an industry like this, money going back into the community, the genie has already been let out of the bottle. You can't put it back in.
North Dakota just rejected recreational marijuana use, as did Arizona and Ohio in recent years. Michigan just voted to legalize recreational pot, and pot advocates say they'll have ballots going in many more states in 2020.